a number of years, and the object of today is to help people who've never cut a pig up before be able to attempt it and succeed in it. So right now we have the shoulder, so we'll split the shoulder down so we can have the joints, and then we'll have the hand and spring. So I normally just take this little bit of meat off here, which then will go for sausages. If you feel in here, you'll feel the edge of the bone. What you want to do is come just a little bit over, about ½ centimetre, and then take the line down, saw that down, and then cut straight through, and then in here we'll have the blade bone joint. Can you find it? Just put it over the table. There we go. Just by putting it over the table, it just shows you where you've got to cut.
Oh, I see. You can see now. You can see clearly that that joint, that ball joint that you were talking about.
Yeah, this is the joint that we need to go around. Like that. There we go. Then we have the shoulder joint, which we'll tie up, and this is the hand and spring. So we'll do the joint first. All it is, put your knife underneath the rib cage, and then follow the backbone all the way down. And I lift the joint up so you can see where you're cutting, and also gravity taking the meat away from the bone so that you can, you'll find where you've got to cut a lot easier. I've gone right round the rib cage up to the back spinal cord, and what I'll do, I'll turn around and then bring the knife down, straight down that bone, and there we go. We take that bone off. On here it looks as if there's a lot of meat, but if you can take that off just for sausages. But be careful, because all of these little bones have got a little bit of gristle on them. And what you don't want to do is get all those little bits of gristle into your sausages, or leave them in the joint. So just slide your knife over the top of them and just prevent any of those little bits of gristle going into your sausages. And then we just trim in between the ribs. And all of this trim will go for sausages. There we go. The sausage pile. Right, now we've got to take out the blade bone. So the blade bone joint is facing towards me. With the tip of your knife, just aim your knife down a little bit onto the bone and just cut straight the way through. It's a flat bone at the top, and over here I always cut all the way through, open that up, right, turn it round. Now this is the bit where the bone is a little bit difficult to get it out, because it is an awkward shape. Turn it up on its side, minding your fingers. The bone goes away from you, and then it curves back in towards you and underneath. So this is the bit
if it's going to slip and cut yourself, this could be the bit that it happens on.
So you say, you know, obviously working with knives are always obviously sharp, aren't they? But you see a lot of people wear, butchers have like a chain glove they wear on the other hand. I mean, to me they look like they prohibit your work, if you know what I mean. But what do you feel about them?
I used to use a chainmail glove all the time in a slaughterhouse.
Oh, right.
Because you're working at speed.
Yeah.
But doing butchery like this, you can take your time, there's no real hurry, so you can be that little bit more careful. And you've got the sensitivity of touch with your hand,
yeah,
rather than with the glove. And if one time you don't put your glove on, and you got used to the knife just hitting it,
yeah,
then that is when you end up in A&E. So I tend not to wear one,
yeah,
just for that simple reason.
Fair enough. I just thought I'd ask the question. I mean,
yeah, sure.
I know the a few people will see that you know what. Yeah. You know, so if you are going to do your own butchery at home, I mean, you obviously got a saw there, a fairly lengthy saw. You got steel and a couple of knives. What do you really need as a whole?
This is it, and we've got the cleaver here for cutting the pork chops. So really, to butcher a pig, all you need really is that.
Right.
I also got a steak knife, because I cut beef as well.
Right.
But this is all that I would need to cut any species of animal.
Right.
But with pork, yeah, a steak knife is handy, but it's not essential. A Victorinox, used them ever since I've been in butchery. I like them. The steel is an oval one, but it don't matter if it's round. But it's smooth. You feel that, Andrew?
Well, it is very smooth, yeah. So
it's just like glass.
Yeah.
Because when you sharpen the knife, all you want to do is centralise the edge. If it's too rough, it will just take the edge off, because it's like a file.
Yeah, I see what
so
I mean.
all this is honing the edge in and keeping it nice and smooth. So, but we'll come on to sharpening.
Yeah. No, sorry.
Sharpening after we've done this. But yeah, so that basically is all you need. And if you're going to make your loin into steaks, you don't need the cleaver.
Yeah.
Now I bought this off eBay for, I think it was £42. Made in 1932 or 1942, but a new one today, stainless steel, will cost you 50 quid. But, you know, you can keep it to a minimum. I would say the saw is about £30. I think the knife, we include in VAT, is about £15, and the steel is about £30. So for about £70,
you can get yourself set up.
You can get yourself set up to butcher a pig and do a good job of it.
And obviously you don't need a butcher's block. You could do it on your own kitchen.
You can do it on your worktop, as long as you don't hit it with the cleaver. Because the wife wouldn't be very happy.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted a new kitchen, of course, and then
that's the answer.
You're played right into her hands. Right, we'll tie the joint up. I always cut this bit of back fat off here. It goes at the sausages, but it just cuts down the amount of fat on the joint itself. It looks so much better.
Yeah.
Take that a little bit off. So right, now we come to scoring it. And the more times you steal your knife, it's only a couple of 3 times just to keep that edge on there.
So why do we score the joint? I assume it's to make the nice crackling, right?
It's to make, yeah.
And to stop it shrinking, I guess the fat skin to shrink too much against the joint.
And it's easier to carve, because some people carve within the marks.
Yeah, I see what you mean, yeah.
You know, it lets the fat out as well.
Yeah.
So, right, now to tying it up, we'll just check to make sure that we've not left any bits in, which we have here. So I always check the little bits, that we get all the little bits of gristle out from that joint. There we go. These little glands come out as well. That go in the bone bin. Right, now the butcher's knot.
I've not managed. I've seen this done so many times.
Right.
I've watched, and I've never been able to do it properly.
Very easy.
They always seem to unslip.
No, I don't want a little bit. This is the bit where I was saying, if you go too close to the neck bone, these are the little bits of gristle
All right.
that you get in
your
joint or in your sausages if you go too close to that neck bone. So that is one little bit, but I always double check. We got no more. Right, the knot. And here. Over the finger.
Hang on. Sorry. There we go. Right, got it now.
So you get, hold on, if I come round so you can see it a lot easier. Lay that over there, that down, underneath and through. And that's all it is.
It's like a slip knot.
And then all we do, round the finger, make a loop, and that's stop it from coming undone. So we do it again. And I'd always leave a big gap and then I'll come back and put strings in between.
I mean, I had wondered sort of the order you do it in to sort of...
So the knot again, over the finger, underneath till you got the loop, tuck that through, and just that little tug at the end will lock it, and this will double lock it.
You make that look easy. You must have tied a fair few thousand, probably 100,000 knots in your butchery career.
There we go. And then through. So you can practice it on anything. Roll up a tea towel, anything.
Yeah, I've seen some people do it on a baked bean tin.
Yeah, anything.
But I still couldn't get. I mean, it could well be the twine though. The twine that you've got there looks a bit thicker than the one that I've got.
This is the just a standard blue and white butcher's twine.
Yeah.
I don't know how many metres are on a roll, but it lasts us a long while. And I think they come out at about £7 a roll. You know, a whole reel of it. So now we've got the gaps, and now we go in between.
Now, so a shoulder that size that we boned and done like that. I mean, that's a very big joint. Would you do that in 2 or 3?
Well, you could do it in 3, you could do it 2, you could do it even in 4.
All right.
Just all depends on what family size people have got.
Yeah.
To what I do. I'll put one more in here. There we go. Set tied up. And in the shop we would just face these up. But if it's for home use,
Yeah.
you can leave them on. But where do you want to cut it, Andrew?
Just straight down the middle.
Straight down, like that way? So, about there?
Yeah.
There we
Look
go.
at that. That looks cracking, doesn't it?
And by taking that bit of fat off this side,
I see what you mean. It does look a lot tidier. Yeah.
you know, cut that square. You'd have that big bit of fat,
On there. Yeah.
but your sausages will take this up because you're going to have quite a bit of lean meat in.
Yeah.
So, but it looks so much better with that,
They look cracking. Yeah.
without that on there. There we go. Right, we've done the shoulder of pork joint. Now we're left with what they call the hand and the spring. So just had a word with Andrew, and we're going to take the ribs off here. We'll leave some pork on them. And then the ribs.
Okay, nice on the barbecue, eh?
Yeah. A little bit of marinade on them and away you go. There we go, there's the ribs. So it all depends what you want this bit for. Most people, because they have sausages, they have it just put straight into sausages. But you can dice it, you could even leave it as a joint. Some people have a hand and spring joint. I like this as diced because you can put it into a casserole with some cider, some apples, and it comes out just fine. So Andrew said that he'd like it into diced. So to take the rind off, I normally cut all the way down here first, and then with your blade faced in, keep the skin tight, and then just put your knife down, and then you'll get all the meat off the rind. Take that bit off. Then we come around to this bit. I only do the de-rinding of the hock like this because I find it easier while it's still in a big piece, rather than just taking these bits off, and then it makes it a bit fiddly to do it. So there we go. There we go. That's the sausages. And now you take the muscles off the forearm. Off there. And all it is a flat bone. Follow it to the end and then come off the end. So they will go into sausages. And again, take that off there. Sausages. And then you've got a joint in here. You can just see where the joint is. And then just turn it. Set bone out, a little bit for sausages. This bone here, another easy one to get out. Just cut straight down onto the bone. Another straight bone. There we go. That's now boned out. So I just slide the knife underneath, pulling this up towards you and pushing away with this knife, with your knife. You can now de-rind this bit.
That's quite similar to how you do how I would skin a fish.
Yeah, very similar. Very similar. There we go. Where I was holding it, we just take this bit off at the top. So there we have the rind off. It's a sausage pile.
Is this what you would call shoulder steaks as well, or does that come from the other part of the shoulder?
Yeah, you can have shoulder steaks. When we do one of the other shoulders,
yeah.
I'll show you how you can do it, like for summer barbecues rather than winter joints. You can do it into barbecuing instead of having the joint. So all we do now is just cut it into nice dice-sized chunks. it does help if you can keep your knife sharp as well, because I'm putting virtually no pressure on the knife at all.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah,
but we'll go for the knife sharpening a bit later on. But it does take years of practice to get a knife to hold its edge, but I will show you how I was taught, and it seems to work quite well for me. Go through here. In here you have got the end of the bone where it comes onto the blade bone, and there's a big thick bit of gristle.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want that in sausages, and you certainly wouldn't want it in diced. Off as well. There we go, and that's the hand and spring.
Super. Really win you up this.
Right, we've done this, the crop or the shoulder for a joint. Like for the summertime and that, you might want some shoulder steaks. So we'll do this one as in shoulder steaks. So again, with the blade bone, knife on top of it, and then release this bit down here. And where we was doing the shoulder joint, we'll take this bit off completely now. So you've got two parts now. You've got the top and then you've got the bottom bit. We'll do the bottom bit, which will go for sausages. And this is the tricky bone. That goes away from you. And then go over the top of the bone, and then it comes back on you and away. There we go. And that's the bone where it goes away and then come back to you again. With this one, two options. You can follow the bones down this way and make them into shoulder steak, bone-in steaks. And the other way is, to make it easier if you haven't got a cleaver, is to follow the bone round exactly the same as what I did when I done the shoulder joint. Just being careful not to leave any of these little bits on the shoulder. Take that bit off there like that, and then you can cut these in into nice boneless shoulder steaks for the barbecue.
How many steaks you reckon you get? I guess you want a nice thick steak, I guess, don't you? You don't want one too. Well, about an inch thick, I suppose.
Yeah.
They do look good.
And that is about it. This will go, you could cut that bit off. And then have a smaller one.
Right, gotcha.
Like that. There we go, so we've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got 9 steaks out of that little shoulder joint. And they would cook absolutely brilliant on a barbecue. So. And then mark it all the way along. And then that's all we do, all the way down. And just use the thumb just to pull it away so you can see where you cut 'em.